very good afternoon. Welcome to Younib TV News at 1. I'm Jesicah Adiang. Now, hundreds of journalists yesterday took to the streets of Nairobi to protest against the sustained harassment by the government and police officers, as well as to defend the independence of the profession in the country in a peaceful protest held from morning all the way to the afternoon. They presented petitions to the acting Inspector General of Police, Douglas Carr, the Speaker of the National Assembly.
Majengo ya bunge ni ya umma. Yes. Ndio? Hakuna mtu anaingia hapa na bunduki, hakuna mtu anaingia na risasi. Yes. Wanakuja kuangazia na kufahamisha wananchi na kile ambacho kinaendelea. Yes. Ni vipi mnasema kwamba fulani hawezi kuingia, kwani yeye ni gaidi? We are not criminals.
We are not criminals.
We are not criminals.
We are not criminals.
Kila mwanahabari ana haki ya kuangazia habari na kufahamisha wananchi kile ambacho kinaendelea bila ubaguzi wowote. Ahadi ambayo Kingi aliweka, ahadi ambayo Weta aliweka ni lazima watimize.
Why are you blocking media from accessing the press gallery? Yes. That is unacceptable. The bare minimum is we must use the media center and we must access press gallery all. Yes. Yes.
The petition was received by a representative of Speaker Wetangula.
I want to say that all that you are bringing to us, we will respond, a speaker will respond officially and speak on the matters of free of the space, even of press.
Now, on matters governance, the Kenya Kwanza administration is reportedly striving to remove corruption. According to President William Ruto, Kenyans have been reassured by the president of his commitment to ensuring that the relevant authorities take responsibility for concerns pertaining to corruption.
Give the people of Kenya an assurance that our government listens to them. For the last 1 month, I have led the government in engaging and listening to citizens from all walks of life as they express themselves in different forums. As the foremost national concern requiring urgent and decisive action is the vexing matter of corruption and the non-negotiable desire for accountable leadership and integrity in governance. We are proposing amendments to the Evidence Act and the Criminal Procedure Code, among other necessary legislative amendments to all statutes relating to corruption, to expedite investigations and prosecution of corruption and economic crimes cases. So be proposing amendments to the Witness Protection Act to overhaul the statutory and institutional framework to protect and incentivize whistleblowers.
Now, on matters education, the impact of the April-May floods on the education sector continues to be felt, with over 15,000 learners from 62 schools affected by the floods and failing to report to schools for their second term in learning. A survey by the Kenya Human Rights Commission and Eliminate Coalition also shows that critical education infrastructure was destroyed by the floods, further affecting learning in the schools that were damaged.
We also had, I think in total, from the schools that we sampled, I need just to give it the figure, that more than 15,000 students or learners never reported back. This one we have categorized and indicated that for the learners with special needs, 11% of that were learners with special needs. 9% of the category that did not report back were girls. And so these are numbers which still we do not know where they are. And we were asking also if there were any efforts being made by the local leadership to mop them and whip them back to school. There was no significant effort on that. The mechanism that also would help schools or learning centers really to overcome such attacks.
Now, after a 3-year hiatus, Raila Odinga is now formally back in government. But this is not the first time the leader of opposition has shaken hands with the sitting president. This is his 4th time. Elias Mushina takes us down memory lane from Raila's first handshake with the late retired President Daniel Arap Moi in 2001.
The offer to endorse Raila as AU Commission Chairman marked a significant change in the political dynamics between two of the nation's leading rivals. Ruto showcased this dedication to support Raila's candidacy through meeting with other national leaders, while Raila reciprocated by aligning his actions domestically. It began with photo from Uganda that seemed to hint at a political alliance, initially denied but later revealed to be substantial. Odinga and Ruto were clearly involved in strategic moves. Odinga has now entered the government for the fourth time without winning through the ballot while in opposition, having integrated into the government. Reporting Younib at 1, my name is Elias Mushina.
Now we are taking a short break. We will be back with more news updates.
Wewe ni mfanyabiashara katika sekta ya elimu, afya bora, usafiri ama unamiliki kampuni yoyote ile? Ungependa kupata fursa ya kutangaza biashara yako ili kuwafikia wateja zaidi? Usikonde. Runinga ya Younib inakupa fursa ya kupeperusha matangazo kuhusu bidhaa na huduma unazotoa kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari za simu 0750344700 ama kupitia barua pepe marketing@younibtv.com. Jinyakulie leo. Younib TV, ever the best.
Now, welcome back. Now, President William Ruto on Wednesday directed the country's justice system to release all protesters who were wrongfully arrested during the month-long anti-government protest across the country, as Penina Wachera informs.
President William Ruto, in a national address on Wednesday, July 24th, acknowledged the national-wide protests that have led to loss of lives and property destruction. He called on criminal justice officials to release and withdraw charges against innocent people arrested during the protest,
who lost their loved ones. Unfortunately, there has been many instances of excessive, unlawful, dangerous, and harmful conduct during the demonstrations and engagements, as a consequence of which many persons have been arrested and charged in courts with various offenses. I urge the criminal justice agencies to take effective measures and ensure that people who may have been innocently caught up on the wrong side of things and those not implicated in crimes be released and charges against them withdrawn.
The head of state also called for the investigation and prosecution of criminals who exploited the peaceful protest for their own agendas.
This will enable the agencies to focus their resources, efforts, and time in investigating and prosecuting serious criminal elements who took advantage of peaceful demonstrations to advance.
Reporting for Younib TV Live at 1, my name is Penina Wachera.
Now, veteran journalist Dorothy Kweyu, the mother of Stephen Mukayo, who has been tirelessly campaigning to save her son from execution in Saudi Arabia, continues to appeal to Kenyans for help in raising over 100 million shillings. Stephen Mukayo is said Stephen Mukayo is scheduled to be executed on the 26th of November for the murder of a Yemeni man in 2011. Through a public appeal, the family has raised 11 million shillings so far out of the 150 million for Mukayo's blood money.
Our target was to raise the 150 million shillings. So far, we have put together about 11 million, which is less than 10% of the required sum. So our purpose here today is to renew our fundraising initiative by appealing to Kenyans and all people of goodwill to please donate generously to this cause. By our calculation, if just 100,000 Kenyans or people send in only 1,000 shillings each, we can actually raise 100 million, which will get us closer to the target.
I'm in touch with Steve as late as last evening when he called. Remember, he can call, but I cannot call him. He was in good health, and I told him that we would be having this press conference, and he is praying that Kenyans might come out for him.
Now on to county news. Jimmy Magero is leading a group of Gen Z and millennials in Kisumu who are upset at the supposed kidnapping and torture of human rights defender Boniface Akach during Tuesday's unsuccessful protest.
And now we do not understand why he will be arrested and tortured in the manner in which he was tortured. If this is the champion of peace, who's made sure that for the first time Kisumu has had demonstrations which are not violent as has been before, why is it that this is the same person again that they're targeting and meeting violence on him? And that tells you that the government has no goodwill of protecting the Kenyan citizens. And today, as we assemble here, I want to remind all Kenyans that we have seen what is happening in our nation. And finally, we have realized that we are on our own. Appointing based on the tribe that you are coming from is not going to solve the issues that Kenyans are facing. So about the new cabinet that was appointed today, we can only celebrate after we have seen what they have done in those positions. But we are not going to celebrate as communities because somebody whose name ends with a name that comes from a particular community has been appointed in cabinet. And we are asking Kenyans to rise up and know that you are on your own in this. When we were talking about issues of corruption, we were talking about issues to do extrajudicial killing, we were talking about high school fee, we were talking about
Now, thank you for keeping it Younib. That is all we had lined up for you today on our news desk. And as I leave with this quote: good news is rare these days, and every glittering ounce of it should be cherished and hoarded like a priceless diamond. My name is Jesicah Adiang. Good afternoon.